Absolutely.
So the NOAA braces for mass layoffs, fueling concerns about life-saving weather services. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is preparing to lay off more than 1,000 workers as part of the Trump administration's mandate for agencies to prepare reductions in force, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. The cuts are fielding concerns that the NOAA's ability to deliver life-saving services such as weather forecasting, storm warnings, climate monitoring, and fishery oversight will be hampered. The concerns are especially acute as hurricane and disaster season looms. NOAA was already significantly understaffed, so this is devastating. This is beyond a S show, said Rep. Jared Huffman, D.C., the Democrat, California. The ranking member of the House Natural Resources Committee said in an interview with ABC News. It means we're going to be less safe. It means there will be all sorts of collateral damage. A person familiar with the staffing levels at NOAA told ABC News that the agency is already down about 2,000 people since January as a result of the first round of Trump administration cuts. The fork in the road offer and regular retirement. In January, this source said the staffing was at about 12,000 employees, which is described as average. With an additional 1,000 cuts looming, the agency would be down 25% since the start of the year. There is no way to absorb the cuts of this magnitude without cutting into these core missions, Huffman said. This is about efficiency and certainly not about waste, fraud, and abuse. This is making programs that people depend on to save their lives This is taking programs that people depend on to save lives and emasculating them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I bring this up, because by the time you see this video, there is a storm, a huge storm coming, tornadoes, flash floods, damage winds, head to the Midwest, South, and the East Coast. St. Louis will be the main hit. So St. Louis, it's going to hit the Jackson, Macomb, New Orleans, Atlanta, Chicago, Pittsburgh. It's a huge storm system. Tornadoes, flooding. This is what the NOAA does. They warn you when tornadoes are coming. That when you see that on the news and you see the tornadoes, they're like, hey, that's your tornado warning. When the flood's about to come, they know that the rain's going to bring all this down and it's going to flood your area. Without the staff, this is how people die.
Yep.
People say, oh, what do these people do in the government? This is what they do. Some of you don't even know who the NOAA is. That's the reason. I'm telling you, this is why we have these things in place, to keep you safe and aware.
This is why we don't run into the same problems that a lot of these other countries run into when they have, like, when they lose 20,000 and 30,000 people, you know what I mean, to flooding or to these other different natural disasters. You know, this isn't something that we need to be playing with. We're seeing every year that our flooding is getting worse. You know, the hurricanes are getting worse. I know people say, oh, the hurricanes aren't getting worse. Well, they seem to be affecting more and more property. You know, the wildfires are now spreading to the East Coast. We're starting to get heavy wildfires on the East Coast as well, too. This is the first year I've seen
They said the East Coast, they're thinking those fires started when they found the lithium deposits, because there were just a bunch of random wildfires that just happened to pop up there. But it's a lot drier. But people don't want to believe in climate change.
And this is who these people, they track these things for us. And this is why we always see weather trackers. That's why we were able to get people out of Florida before the last one hit, even though it wasn't as strong as everyone thought it would be. It saved lives. Exactly. Yeah. It's making sure that we have an understanding of what may happen. A lot of countries don't have these kind of systems. They just got to sit there and brace for it. You know what I mean? So, if people didn't leave there, it's just because they didn't have the money. It's not because they were not warned. We understood what's going on. This is why at the end of the day, man, it's sad to see that these people would rather cut these jobs that are such a minuscule cut instead of looking at the real major cuts, which is like defense spending. They want to talk about,
let's tax the rich, bro. That's all it is. Tax the rich
at a higher rate. People say, you think they're going to, we've done it before. It's not to say this is a new, this is a new thought pattern. This is in this country, when we did tax the rich at a higher tax rate, we had a middle class. Once we stopped doing it, the middle class is gone now. We have one. It's only because it's only because the numbers have to show a middle class. Not because there's truly one like we had before, where you could send your kids to college comfortably, buy a home. I mean, kids these days can't even afford to move out of their home. It's hard for them. They have to like get together. Even at 20 something years, it's a difficult job. That's why the birth
rate is so low.
Absolutely.
People don't understand that nobody can afford. You know how much daycare is a week? $800 a week.
That's crazy.
$800 for one kid, and don't let it be summertime. Oh man, the price is going to go up because the kid's there all day. Hopefully, everybody stays safe. Make sure you stay with your local meteorologist and just pay attention, Make sure that inside of your home, you have enough supplies to last you at least 2 weeks. That's water, canned food, and enough blankets and stuff to heat you up. You see, North Carolina, they were warned, and those people were devastated. They didn't get to them after 2 weeks. And if you live in a rural area, anywhere you live, people, please believe me, you need enough supplies to last you and your family for 2 weeks. And if you want to know how many supplies you need, if you have children, take a case of water, 24 packs, set it in your living room, and tell your kids, this is the only water we're drinking and using today. And see how quickly they go through those water bottles. Then you can determine how much water you would need for your home. Bless you all.